Hello guys, welcome to my vlog. Hello guys, welcome to my vlog. Okay guys, sabat sa mga manok. By the way, nako diri sa amuang probinsya. So nandito ako sa bahay namin sa province. Pasensya na po kayo kung may mga manok. Sabat kay mga manok. So for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about Okay guys, for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about empathy. Okay, so empathy will be our topic today. This is going to be related to the BPO job, to the BPO industry. If you are planning to apply for a call center job as a call center representative or a call center agent, empathy is gonna be very important. Okay, empathy is the best thing that you have to practice, the best skill, one of the best skills that you have to practice in order to be good at what you do as a call center agent. Okay guys, so without further ado, let's start. Okay guys, so what is empathy? Okay, you must know how or what it is. So these things that I'm gonna be talking about here today is just part of my experience, and this is based on my personal experience. Okay, I'm not an expert or anything. I'm not like I'm not somebody an expert about how really you should do empathy, how you should really have empathy, or how you should apply it as a call center agent. Okay, I'm not an expert. I'm just here trying to give you some tips, some information that I think would help you guys somehow, or hopefully will help you guys. You could apply this to your personal journey as well. If you're going to apply for a call center agent, or if you are currently in a call center agent, you can also, I hope you can also learn something about this video. Okay, so what is empathy? Empathy for me is the ability, it is an ability, as your skill or a skill to understand and share one another's feeling. Okay, so somehow it's like putting yourself into somebody else's shoe, or putting yourself into somebody else's situation. Okay, this skill will be able to help you, or will make you understand what the other person is feeling on his situation. When somebody has a problem, you will put your shoe into his situation, into his shoe. That way you understand the person's feeling, how he's feeling about the situation, how he's feeling about his problem. Okay, so that skill, the empathy, you through empathy, when you empathize on somebody else's feeling, they will be able to sense, or they will feel that you understand their situation. You make them feel that you understand their situation. That's how important empathy is. So when you make empathy statements, that's very tricky, guys. It will always depend on the wordings that you will choose, the right words that you will choose, the right presentation, the right enunciation of those words that you will use during a call, or just like when in a normal life. But when you're in a call center industry, it's very important that you apply the best the best words, appropriate words that will tailor fit to the customer's concern, the customer's situation. Okay, that's very important. Okay, but before that, guys, let me just tell you something about my personal experience. Since I was a newbie, and I'm currently working in a call center right now. I'm on my fifth year in 3 months, 4 months, fifth year, 3 months. So when I first started in a call center, it was very challenging. Sometimes it could be really stressing because as a newbie, you don't have much of an experience, you don't have much of knowledge about the job, you don't have much knowledge of how you would present your empathy statements, how you would actually respond and talk to your customer, especially when they have a problem. They have a lot of problem, guys. They have a lot of problem, guys, especially when how you would deal somebody that's very aggravated, very frustrated, and they're very upset of their situation. So it's kind of tricky and very challenging, but you will get to practice it every day as you talk to the customers every day. So you don't have to worry. This video will just be this video is just, I'm just sharing you my experience, my knowledge about it. So I'm just hoping that this would help you guys, especially I have a lot of friends watching me today. I also have a lot of um, I also have some of my acquaintances, friends out there watching my video. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you can get something about this video. I'm just going to share with you some of the tips and tricks about my experience in a call center. So let's start with the empathy statement. Okay, so for example, I'm just gonna share to you guys my experience when I was in eBay. I was in eBay before. I've been in eBay for 4 years. Right now I'm in T-Mobile now, but with my eBay experience, eBay is different from T-Mobile. eBay is an online website. It is an online business where we take care of our sellers, both the sellers and the customers. Okay, so at that time, my calls were mostly about item not received, returns, because we have to deal with a seller. They are the sellers are the ones that are posting items on the websites, okay, on the eBay websites. They're the ones who are listing items. They're the ones who sells the items. So we also take care of our sellers, of course, and we also take care of our buyers. They're the ones who buy items through our website. Okay, so if you can think about it, our website is just an online platform where we assist our customers, our sellers. So either side, we always listen to them if they have problems. So it was a very challenging job because sometimes you get to a situation, where you have to be the mediation. You have to be the mediation person. You have to mediate with the customer. You have to mediate with the seller, because they also have a messaging system where they can communicate. But somehow, sometimes when things get rough and the seller and the buyer couldn't get along with trying to resolve an issue with their transaction, the customer or either the seller will call customer service to tell us what their problem is. If they have a problem with the seller, if they have a problem with this buyer, they have a problem. For example, the buyer received an item and they have a problem with the item they receive, then the customer will contact us and tell us what the problem is about the item that they receive. Oh, the item is not as described, blah blah blah, the item is incorrect, this is a wrong order, blah blah blah. So that's the time we will step in. Okay, we will step in and we will listen to the customer, um, specifically when the customer says, oh my god, for example, the customer will say, hello, I'm calling about my item. I received my item, but it's not as described. For example, he purchased a TV. Okay, he purchased a TV, and you know, TV is a fragile item. It could easily get broken if it was not packaged properly, or if it was not packed with some bubble wraps or something. So if it was not packaged properly, then it would really get broken in transit, and um, that somehow we cannot put that situation. We cannot blame the seller for that if it got broken in transit. So the seller's responsibility is to make sure that the item is packed properly with bubble wrapped and some styro, so it will protect the TV itself. Okay? So in the situation wherein the customer will call us and say, "Hello, I'm so frustrated right now. I got my TV, but it came broken. What do I do? How can I get a refund?" So the customer will say it like that. So if the customer really wants a refund, um, we would really have to open a case for that to get a refund. But since we're talking about empathy, in that specific situation, with my experience, I would say, oh, instead of saying I'm sorry, because we tend to always say I'm sorry. Oh, I understand. I'm so sorry. It's really not the best word to say. Like we don't really use I'm sorry that much, because for my experience, it's really helpful if you use another word instead of using I'm sorry. So it's kind of tricky in that situation wherein you have to say wherein you won't have to say sorry, you would have to use another word. So instead of saying I'm sorry, I would say, so instead of saying I'm sorry, you could say, I know the situation must be so hard on you, and it must be very disappointing. And it must be very disappointing that you receive the item broken. Don't worry, I'm gonna do my best. Let me look into this and take a look at what are your options. So you could say it like that instead of saying I'm sorry. Or you could say, I know this is really frustrating. I know this is really frustrating. I would feel the same way if I am in your shoe right now. Or I would feel the same way if I am in your situation. Rest assured, I'm gonna look for options. I'm gonna check I will see what we can do. I'm gonna check what are your options. And say, I apologize for the inconvenience this has caused you, but I am here to listen. I am here to help you. Let me check what we can do. Something like that. Hello guys, welcome again to my channel. I'm so sorry. I just took a bath earlier and then I fell asleep. I'm so sorry about that, but I'm gonna be here to continue this with this video about empathy, because I also want to share with you what are the things that I've been doing during my phone calls. Aside from the empathy statements that I am using on my phone calls, I also want to share with you what are other things that I am adding on my empathy statements. I usually use empathy statements plus reassuring statements. Okay, so after my empathy statement, I add a reassuring statement right after that, and then showing interest that you're really into helping the customer. So it's like showing willingness to help the customer. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Empathy statement plus reassuring statement, and then show interest that you want to help the customer. So that's how I do it most of the time. um for example, let's get another example to you guys. Okay, so for example, well, let's talk about a refund. Let's talk about refund this time. For example, the customer will say, hello, hello, I just returned my item because it was not as described, and I am still waiting for a refund. I returned my item a week ago, and as with my tracking number, I can see it's been delivered, but the seller is not responsive to my messages. I just want to know how to get my refund. Can you please help? This is really, really frustrating right now. So when the customers say, it's really frustrating, I've been contacting the seller, I've been in contact with the seller, but he's now unresponsive. And I'm getting really frustrated right now. I'm getting really upset about this. When the customers say like that, I usually respond an empathy statement, reassuring plus reassuring statement, and then my willingness to help. So I will, so with that example, I would respond to my customer, I totally understand how that could be frustrating. I totally understand how that could be frustrating, given that you have been in contact with the seller and now he's unresponsive. I would feel the same way. But you don't need to worry. You got me, and I am here to help you. I will I will help you get a refund. Let me check this for you. So I normally say it like that, or I could say so it's been few days. So it's been a week now and you haven't received your refund yet. Oh, that's too bad. Don't worry. I'm gonna look for a resolution for you. Rest assured, I'm gonna resolve this. Okay? So, and then you get into the, you just, if you hear the customer is communicating and is agreeing, if you get the agreement and what you're gonna do, then that's the time that you'll be able to check for options, check further steps, check further things that you need to do in order to resolve the customer's issue. So you're just gonna get the buy-in for the customer to feel that you're really into helping him about getting his refund. So the empathy statement there is when I say, oh, so it's been a week now and you still haven't received your refund. That's too bad. I totally understand where you're coming from. So that's the empathy statement there. And the reassuring statement is when you say, don't worry, I'm gonna look into this for you. I'm gonna resolve this. Okay? So that is the reassuring statement plus the willingness to help. At the same time, you were showing that you are really willing to help the customer in that way. So that usually the things that I've been doing, that usually how I present my empathy statements. So that's how I usually present my empathy statement. It doesn't need to be too long. The statement doesn't need to be too long. Sometimes you could just like say a shorter empathy statements, just like, oh, I agree with that. I totally agree with you. I'm gonna check this for you. Thing like that. Something like that. Or you could say, definitely you are right. You are right with that. You're right with that. You have to show agreement with the customer that you're actually showing, or you're actually letting the customer know that you are on the same, you're on the same, um you're on the same boat. So you are, by just agreeing how the customer is feeling, by just agreeing, acknowledging what the customer is saying, it means that you are on the same boat. Okay, so you're on the same boat, and you are on the same, you have the same objective. You have the same objective. If you're on the same boat, you are on the same, you have the same objective to resolve the concern of the customer when you gain agreement with the customer. Okay, so empathy, the empathy statement there is very useful in in getting the buy-in of the customer, because at the start of the call, that's the strong, you have to have a strong empathy statement. Because if you don't, and you're just starting the call, and you didn't even apply an empathy statement, or you didn't even gain agreement with the customer of his situation, so it could be, the call might not be successful, or you might not get into the resolution the customer wanted to have on his call. So it's very, it could get critical, or the customer might not communicate or might not cooperate with the processes, because in a certain situation you have to follow policies and processes. So if you and a customer is not getting into an agreement on how you could resolve the concern, then it could be difficult. So there are a lot of, it would affect the whole call itself. If from this, just from the start of the call, you didn't even, you wasn't able to, you weren't able to show a good empathy statement. Because even it's not a big deal. It might not be a big deal for some, but for me it's a big deal, because empathy statement should be a strong part of the call that you should have in every call, in order for you to get a good call, in order for you to in order for you to have a productive, in order for you to be productive on your call, you must be attentive, and you must have a good empathy statement all the time. And also, you have to be careful, guys, when you use the word I understand. Okay? When you use the word I understand, you have to listen the tone of your customer. You have to listen to the tone of the customer. When the customer says, I am so angry right now. So angry right now. How about that? I'm so angry right now. How about that? This buyer did not receive the item on time, and this buyer bought or purchased a wedding dress, okay, and this buyer needs this wedding dress before the wedding, okay. So and then this buyer was waiting for the wedding dress, because the next day is gonna be the wedding. Okay, so imagine how the customer would feel about that. The customer was expecting the item to arrive like a week before the wedding, or few days before the wedding. Is it okay, my love? I'm very sabat here. I'm
Yes,
very
I can
noisy.
hear you.
You cannot hear me? I'm sorry, my love. Okay, so let's say this buyer is is a woman waiting for her wedding dress and is very excited about the wedding and is now very stressed because the wedding dress did not arrive. Okay, so we cannot blame if this customer wanted to have that wedding dress online, or because sometimes it's somehow that is something that this buyer really wanted to have. um Instead of going to a mall or going to a store to purchase a wedding dress, she preferred having that wedding dress purchased online. So, you know, somebody's really waiting for that wedding dress to arrive. Okay? So, you imagine how this customer is feeling right now. She's very stressed about when this wedding dress is gonna come. This buyer is very angry that her wedding dress did not arrive yet, and on the next day is gonna be the wedding day. Okay, you have to say, um, in that you have to hear the customer's words. Okay, because your empathy statement would have to depend on how the customer said her concern. Sorry, and how this customer stated her concern. Okay, so you really have to tips on what I have been doing. I have to listen effectively of what the customer is saying when when he states his when the customer will say the problem. You have to use the same wordings that the customer is using when she stated a problem. Okay, so when you create an empathy statement, it would tailor fit the customer's initial concern and the rest of concerns. It will tailor fit the concern. Okay, so if the customer used frustrated, you use frustrated. If you use I'm upset, you use upset. Or angry, you use angry. Okay, so that's how I've been doing with my phone calls, because it would every word is it could create a different meaning. Sometimes it could create a different um a different um um in each situation. It could vary. Okay, it could vary on how the customer would comprehend about those different wordings that you used when you responded to the customer. So if the customer says, I am very, very angry about this, I did not receive my wedding dress yet, and I'm so worried. First off, I would use the angry word that the customer just mentioned. Okay? We don't want to change anything. We don't want to change the word the customer used, because it would somehow affect the whole purpose of presenting the empathy statement. Okay, sometimes it could contradict what the customer really meant about what they said. Okay, so we don't want to change their words. It's best that you use the same words that they said, because sometimes if you use another word or a different word, or like a similar word to that word that the customer said, it could trigger the customer's emotion, because sometimes the customer will correct you. Okay, I have experienced that, and I have learned that with my how many years I've been in a BPO industry. I have experienced that, and it's a big lesson that I had, a big lesson that I've learned with my experience. So what I'm talking about is, when you use, like, for example, for this example, the customer said, I am so angry right now. And when I responded, I just said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know this is very disappointing. don't worry, I will help you. I will check what I can do. I will see what I can do. So at that point that I have just said, oh, I know this is very disappointing. I'm so sorry. I will see what I can do. That's already, somehow not, I would say it's not the best up it's not the best empathy for that situation, because the customer cut me off. You guys, you believe me or not, the customer cut me off because the customer didn't wasn't really impressed about how I presented my empathy statement or how I responded to his situation, to his concern. I said, I'm so sorry. I know you were disappointed. I'm so sorry about that, but let me check what I can do. I will be happy to help. Even if you show willingness to help, but you just use a wrong word, one wrong word could affect a whole call. Okay? Imagine the customer just cut me off. He said, "Oh, I'm not disappointed. I'm very, very angry." How about that? I am angry. How about that? So that's already a wrong start of the call. Okay? The customer is already angry and frustrated, and the tone of voice he has is very, very is very aggravated. It sounds very aggravated. So it's not a best choice to use. It's not good to use another word. So you must use the same word the customer is using. That's my tip for you. Okay? And another tip, guys, please be careful when to use the word understand. I understand. I understand. Please be careful, because some customers, they tend to be rude sometimes. They would say, "Shh, why are you laughing there? Shh, why are you laughing? Shh." Ay, hindi na narinig ng aking husband. So I would some customers tends to become rude during the call, and if you keep saying I understand, I understand, I understand, they will get annoyed. I promise you that they will get annoyed. Definitely they will get annoyed. Okay? So if you say I understand, you can say it once, twice. That's enough. Okay? You don't have to say I understand, I understand, I understand. The customer will cut you off, guys. They will cut you off. They will say, "You don't understand. How could you understand my situation? How could you understand?" Okay? There are really times that I have experienced that. So it's just, you can say I understand, but in a limited manner. You don't have to repeat it all over and over. Just say it once, twice. That's already good. So it's raining now. I think I will just end this video here, but I can make another one. I can maybe tomorrow, guys, if I have time. It's raining here, and I'm so sorry I don't have a proper office in my house, because we need more money to finish the house. So guys, it's raining here at home. It's raining here at home. But our house is not yet finished, no. So I don't have a proper office in my house. So it's raining. So it's raining here at home. If you can hear, I don't know if you can hear the ticking sound of the rain on the roof. Guys, please don't judge my English, okay? Because English is not my mother tongue. English is just my second language, okay? Do not judge my English. But you can judge my English. It's okay. Just watch my video and I'll thank you. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching my vlog. Thank you for your support. If you like the video, please click the like button and the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll get updated with my upcoming videos like this. Thank you guys and see you next time. Bye bye.